Welcome back. My name is Zorro Carioca, codename Zoca, and today I am starting a new series of videos where I play some people during the streams, and while they play, I make comments both of their moves and my moves. And I hope this can help you to improve your chess in any way. The games I'm going to show you was against a person who is starting in chess. And in his level, something that is really difficult to understand is the good moves that can be played in the opening. So I'm going to use the two games that we have played to show to you some principles of the opening and what can happen when these principles are not followed. So in the opening is the stage of the game of chess, who starts right there on the initial position. In the opening, your objectives are controlling the center being these squares. That means you can put pawns there or develop pieces that will control squares on the center. So you want to control the center, you want to develop your pieces, which means they will get out of their initial square and improve their position because they will be on a more active square. In chess, activity is related to the quantity of squares that your pieces control. On the initial square, your pieces have low activity, but when you develop them, they gain more activity. And during the opening, this is extremely important to build a plan. Another thing that you should be worried about in the opening is to put your king in safety. This usually means that you are going to castle, short or long. Because in the middle, your king is quite a target, so it's very good if you are beginning, try to always castle. So let's see what can happen if you do not follow the principles of the opening. As long as this series goes on, I hope you can understand what of good can happen if you follow the principles and what of bad can happen if you don't. In this case, my opponent started with the move knight c3, which it's okay, it's a developing move, and your knight controls squares on the center. I played e5, which also controls squares on the center, and gives some my dark square bishop and my queen some activity. And here my opponent played f4. Now in this position, f4 is a bad move. Why? Well, you might think f4 control a square on the center. You're right, but I already have a pawn which is controlling this square, so I can just take it. And looking at this position, ask yourself, what white achieves with that pawn move? He didn't achieve anything good, actually. The only thing that he achieved was losing a pawn and exposing his king on this diagonal. This can be extremely dangerous. He didn't develop a piece, he didn't put nothing at the center, and he didn't put his king into safety. So this move, f4 breaks the principle of the opening, and although he is not losing, but he is already worse. And here he played the move e4. Now e4 is a good move, but should be played in this position. If he played e4 here, then he's completely fine, because he opened lines for his bishop and his queen. Basically the same thing I did when I played e5, and he's completely okay. But playing this move e4 without having an f-pawn means that you are not protecting your king. Once you have weakened these squares, you have to see that your opponent might want to attack you using this weakness. So f4 here ignores the fact that the king is exposed. So I play the move queen h4 check. And now the best move here is king to e2. But my opponent would not play that. That's not a natural move for a beginner to play. Instead, he played g3, which makes him much worse, since this g3 square is attacked 2 times and he's defended only 1 time. This means that I can take, and when he played knight f3 attacking my queen, I can play the move d2 check. d2 is a double attack on the rook, on the bishop, and a discover attack on the king. So white cannot parry all these threats at the same time. He has to take the queen. But when he does that, I can take his rook and immediately regain my queen. So you see that white is down a rook and a pawn just because his king was exposed. And now the rest of the game, it was me trying to bring my queen to a safe square and then develop my other pieces, because you can't checkmate with only the queen. So I tried to bring my pieces, and when he offered me a queen trade, I'd accepted, and some moves later I get my bishop out, I put my knight out, I put my rooks into play, and I won the game. It's not my objective here to show the game, I just want to show you the opening, why it went wrong for white, because he didn't follow the principles of the opening. And here, this move, f4, allowed queen h4 check, which is a big mistake. Just play simple. Play e4, develop the pieces, your pieces. Just play simple. Knight c3 was not a problem, but here he should have put his pawn in the center, and now I would develop for something like this. He could develop two, I don't know, and something like this. Castles. See, now both players are out in the opening without problems, without loss of material, and now we are going to have a fair fight during the middle game. Now, after this game, I talked to my opponent about this, what he did wrong, and then we played another game, and again I was black and he was white, and he started with the same move, knight c3. Because he started with the same move, I played the same move also, e5, hoping to see a different move this time, and he played g3. Now g3 is much better than f4 for sure, but here he allowed me to play d5. White is not losing, but I want you to understand that because white did not put a pawn on the center, black could comfortably put both pawns on the center, and this allows black to have a great control of the center. So do not forget that the principles that apply to you also apply to your opponent. So you are trying to develop your pieces, put your king into safety, and control the center. Your opponent might try to do the same thing. So you cannot let your opponent do whatever he wants. You want to contest, you want to make difficulties. That's why I suggested on this move in the previous game that e4 should be played. Because the pawn is on e4 and these squares are controlled by white, black cannot play the move d5 now, because white can just take and black is down material. But because he did not put a pawn on the center, I could play d5, and when he attacked my bishop, I defended, developing a piece at the same time, and now he strikes with e4. The problem with playing e4 here with my both pawns on e5 and d5 is that black can play here d4. Now I gain space, and the best move here for white is to put the knight on b5, which my opponent saw it. It was incredible. But the thing is, this knight is very misplaced. You do not want your pieces without protection hanging around on the enemy territory. So now this knight is a target, and the game proceeds like bishop d7, attacking the knight. He defended with a4, the best defense. I played bishop c5, just developed, and here he broke the principle of the openings, once again playing c3. c3 does not lose on the spot, but is a move that does not make you achieve something. But you don't achieve anything with this move. You see that computer is suggesting knight f3 because it develops a piece and prepare short castle. Now this achieves something, but c3 only provokes some tension and does not improve white's position at all. So then I attack the knight. He strikes on my bishop, a very nice move. But after took, I take the a pawn, and here my opponent makes a blunder. He just plays rook takes a4. He couldn't see that my pawn was defended 2 times. And after seeing this move, my suggestion to you who are studying chess is to use these arrow resources, this drawing arrows resources that most of online chess boards have, which can help you to see how many times a piece is attacked, is defended, or which squares your pieces or your opponent pieces can control. This will help you to improve your positional drawing these arrows can help you to build a good skill of vision of the board, because it is very common when you start a chess you have some visualization problems when you just can't see that the bishop is defending, or you can see the rook is defending. But with the arrows you could easily see that, okay, I'm attacking the pawn 2 times and he is defending 2 times, so I can't take it. But so another interesting thing about this move is that this move was played with within 1.5 seconds. This was a rapid game, 20 minutes for both players, and this move, rook takes a4, my opponent just took 1.5 seconds. So he did not spend time to think. And after the game, he told me that he is used to play bullet chess. Now, there is nothing wrong about bullet chess. It's very nice to play if you want to spend some time and just have some fun. But if you want to improve your chess, I highly recommend to you not play bullet, but play longer games so you have time to think and to understand what is going on in the position. Well, let me show a few more moves. I finish my develop. I put my knight on d4, attacking his queen, and here, once again, he blundered his queen. He could not see that my bishop is looking to this d1 square. But, I mean, even if he did not blunder his queen, the white's position is crumbling, it's breaking apart. So I hope this video could show you some problems that can happen when you don't follow the principles of the opening. I intend to post more videos. I intend to post more videos like that so you can see in different games, in different situations, whether applying the principles of the opening can be good and not applying them can result in disaster. I hope you like this video. Take care.